Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor. With me, as always, Damian the Wolverine Hill. Trash Talk is brought to you, as always, by our sponsors Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology, Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and my mom. Trash Talk is here today breaking down the professional portion of LFA 82 going down tonight at Mississippi Casino. Damien, how you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. Excited for the fight night, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll just do a quick run through of the card to get the fans up to date, and then we'll get right into it. So starting out with the first pro fight of the night, Jason Huntley from the Academy going against Christian Rodriguez. Kayne Luger going against Tyler Matheson. The fight we're all excited for, Felipe Martinez versus Angel Pacheco. Then get to the UFC Fight Pass portion of the card. Brian Peterson versus Thomas the Train Peterson going down in a battle of Petersons. Nate Smith is fighting Shawn Stebbins. Corey Cuppy is going against JP Too Much St. Louis. Dana Grau is going against Pauline Macias. Jake Childers versus Nate Richardson. And then the main event of the evening for the LFA Light Heavyweight Championship of the World, Jamal Pogus versus Alex Polizzi. Woo!
Yeah. Oh my God. Breaking down the amateur portion of the card yesterday got me all excited. And now just reading off the list of these professional fights that are going down on the same motherfucking card. It's like going to see two really good fight cards in one night. And if you're a fan of MMA, I mean, you're not going to want to miss this night.
No. And the pro card starts out with a bang. Jason Huntley from the Academy stepping up on 2 days' notice. Took this fight, and he's going against a legit prospect from Rufus Sport, Christian Rodriguez. Fans from Minnesota seen Christian fight at Canterbury back in December. It was a dominant fight. He looked really good, showed really good ground skills, showed a finish in Paulus. The fans obviously are very familiar with Jason Huntley. He was a member and a participant of the Professional Fight of the Year in 2019. This guy shows up to fight every time. That's why when you hear he's the guy that got the call on 48 hours notice, you just get a little excited because you know it's going to be a scrap.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm really excited for this fight. I mean, and how you mentioned that, yeah, he just won Fight of the Year of 2019. I mean, with the guy with that much of a badass reputation, it's no surprise him taking the fight on 48 hours. And then with Rodriguez accepting the fight, you can tell that there's a little bit of badass in him too. He doesn't care who the opponent is and is known to bring it, as you said. And I can't wait for this fight.
Oh,
it's way to start off the professional portion.
Yeah, and then the next fight on the professional undercard, I guess it would be the term, is Kayne Luger, Tyler Matheson. We had a chance to talk to Tyler leading up to this fight. Obviously, his wrestling background speaks for itself. And the thing I took away from that interview most is how much he really enjoys fighting. One of his best friends and closest teammates is on this card with him. We're going to talk about that very soon. So I know he's more than prepared. I know those guys personally. I know how they work. I'm excited to see how that turns out. And Kayne's another guy. He's a very strong wrestler himself with a very nice 3-1 record to start out as a professional. I think this is a good fight of two tough wrestlers.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, and that's what I'm hoping to see. I'm really excited to see the grappling turn out in this fight, and I kind of expect it to stay that way. And man, both of them looked pretty solid at weigh-ins. Also, it wasn't like it didn't look like they were cutting too much weight. I mean, I don't know exactly how their weight cut went. They looked good, and I'm expecting a good fight.
Yeah. And that leads us to the fight that is not on the televised portion, which should be. And if there's any way this fight can be televised, because I generally believe the world needs to see this, it's Felipe Martinez versus Angel Pacheco. I feel like we've been talking about this fight forever. This fight is chaos.
I want to take this one. I'm sorry. I just this is the fight that like I've been saying from the very beginning is the fight that everybody should watch. That's why I made the breakdown of it. This matchup should just get everybody excited in itself. You have the classic striker versus grappler who both have been making extreme improvements in both aspects. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they can handle being in each other's element or force the fight and make it go down in the element that they're most comfortable in. And both of them have the potential to do it. And this fight is just, this is the fight to watch. And it's still slipping under everybody's radar. But yeah.
No, I mean, it's going to be a battle of wills. Talking to both guys, the one thing that they tried to make very clear that I took away from the interviews is their intent is to break the will of the other one. So when you have two guys attempting that both, let's watch this. It's tonight. Get to Mystic Lake and watch that fight. And then going on to the televised portion, you can see on UFC Fight Pass, Brian Peterson versus Thomas Peterson. Obviously, you can talk about Thomas Peterson all day. He's a fan of the show, fan of the program, and he's a tough guy. I mean, 2019 Amateur Fighter of the Year, made a very successful pro debut against a veteran in the game, and he's going against another veteran and Brian Peterson, who we talked to, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy himself. I mean, he's literally the vice principal of a fucking high school. He's the nicest guy you'll ever expect, and he's just looking for a fight, and I know he's going to get one with Tom, and that's going to be a war.
Yeah, I kind of expect this fight to go to a decision, man. Both guys are tough, and I don't see any quitting either one of them. And honestly, I just kind of hope it goes to a decision, and because it's so hard to like want to see one like choose. I mean, respect. We've talked with Thomas quite a few times, and then getting to talk with Brian just one. It's like, how could you not be in love with the personality like that? Like, this guy seems really amazing. I can't wait to actually like meet him in person. And I feel like I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but both of them have the potential of hurting each other, and that's what makes it such a good fight and why it's so like emotionally intriguing to be a fight fan.
Oh man, the game grabs you by the heartstrings. And then the next fight on the televised portion, a couple of young undefeated murderers, Nate Smith versus Shawn Stebbins. Obviously, the fans of Minnesota, they're very familiar with Shawn Stebbins. I mean, bronze medalist in the amateur world championships, has been murking guys, to say the very least, as a professional, getting guys out of there. And he's fighting another tough guy in Nate Smith, who had a ton of amateur experience himself, is 5-0 to start his pro career after making the jump out to Factory X in Colorado. And I mean, I'm excited to see this fight. Both guys are obviously confident. Talking to Shawn, he feels like he's on another level, and I'm excited to see if he can prove that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you said it all. I mean, and then the next fight on the card, I believe, is a fight that I believe is really highly anticipated. And there was a little bit of tension going down at the weigh-ins a little bit where they were doing their stare-off, and that's Corey Cuppy versus JP Lewis. And man, I'm really excited to see this fight play out because Cuppy was also on the national, well, he was a national competitor in Taekwondo, but right now is known for submitting most of his opponents. But he seems to be very, very comfortable. And you got a guy like JP St. Louis, who you could say the same about. I mean, not with the Taekwondo credentials, but with the comfortability of being on the feet and also being known as a grappler, you know. And we talked with JP, and he believes that he has the power to put him down and then get submission, or if he wants to try to take him down, he has the ability to do that. Or if Cuppy tries to take him down, then he's ready for that and is known for his jiu-jitsu game and always competing in his jiu-jitsu tournament. So this fight is, I mean, it's highly anticipated for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up perfectly there. I'm interested to see how this play out. My favorite line from JP is they all turn into grapplers after a couple strikes, and so he's prepared for the grappling, obviously, and just his personality is so great. I feel like he's really getting a push from the LFA, and I think with a prime performance here, he's setting himself up for something nice.
Oh yeah.
And then that leads us to the next fight here.
Fight on the, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, and this is
no, sorry, I was like about to say it, and then go.
Yeah, I apologize. I think we're on a slight delay here, but another one that the LFA is really pushing is a gal called Pauline Macias, and she's tough. I mean, at 115, she's undefeated as an amateur and a pro. She's looked good in her last two fights, which were both in the LFA in 2019, picked up big wins, and she's going against Dana Grau, who, be frank, I don't know a whole lot about. I think to be honest with you, I think she's the opponent in this fight. I think that's the way the LFA. I'm not speaking for them. I think that's the way this was set up, though, and I'm excited to see how Pauline does.
Okay. Next fight.
Next fight on the list is a bagger. It's gonna be the co-main event. Minnesota's own Nate Richardson going against Jake Childers. And Jake's a guy who has fought in Minnesota before. He fought at Mystic Lake before. He looked really good in that fight where he beat an undefeated prospect in Josh Marsh. And then his last fight, he had 15-second knee knockout. So, I mean, he looked really good in his last couple of fights. And the fans of the show, I can't hide my excitement when Nate Richardson fights. I mean, I think he is one of the nastiest fighters in the game, and I mean that with the most respect. I feel like the intensity he brings and the passion he has for it comes through. So I'm excited to see him in a tough fight against another undefeated opponent, and I hope Nate wins. Not going to hide my bias. Whatever.
Oh, man. Like, I believe that this is another striker versus grappler matchup, at least on paper. But as you did mention, Rod Childers. Sorry, I was gonna say Rodriguez again. I don't know why, but then finished his last time with a flying knee. So he does have something to surprise his opponents with at all times. Who else knows what he's been working on? And Nate, with the Glory experience, at least when people look at that, they might assume that he's probably not working on his grappling. But in the interview that we did with him, we learned that he's never stopped in training in MMA and always just was doing the kickboxing to come back and circle back into doing MMA. And I seen in another interview that he did that, I mean, why not go do it, get the experience, get the money, and then come back to the sport that you love with all that experience on the world stage? And now he gets to fight once again at home at Mystic Lake in front of his home crowd. And, I mean, hopefully put on another show. And like you said, I guess we can't hide our bias. I do hope Nate wins. Nate's the shit. But I'm also expecting a really good fight. And two tough competitors like this going at it, I mean, what else can you expect?
Oh, man, that's co-main event for a reason. And the main event for the reason of the evening for the light heavyweight championship of the world. You got Jamal Pogus versus Easy Alex Polizzi. We had a chance to talk with Alex, and I feel like Easy sums up how he's made his fights look and his personality. I feel like that's a double nickname for him. He's such a cool, calm guy. Really, really funny. Explained his background to us. Great guy to talk to, and he's going against a guy in Jamal who was on the UFC Contender Series this last summer, picked up a win, didn't get the contract, so obviously he's looking to make a statement as well. And then you put a 12-pound strap of gold right there, and both guys are going to show up for a scrap for sure.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, with Polizzi having 100% finish rate and his opponent coming off that powerful performance at the Contender Series, you know that both of them are motivated to continue that momentum going and also make a statement. And I don't know, we talked with Polizzi, and he doesn't like to look past that, but I mean, the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to be on that bigger stage, the world promotion, be a world champion. And this is just one step closer into doing that for both guys. So you know they're gonna fucking bring it. Dude, this is the main event of LFA 85.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say it's necessarily a UFC because that's not how it works. But if you got an LFA title around your waist, they're gonna definitely know who you are. So, I mean, this is an opportunity to show off in front of the fans at Mystic and ultimately the world on UFC Fight Pass. This card is going to be great. From the amateur fight of the night, go back and watch that breakdown from the first fight of the night with Jason Huntley stepping up on short datus all the way up to the main event. Pandemonium at Mystic Lake, like always. LFA brings it, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. So make sure you're there, get your tickets. I'm pretty sure it's not completely sold out, but I think there's only general admission left right now. So Get up there, get your tickets, order them. This has been Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. Hit that subscribe button. Trash Talk with Damian and TJ on YouTube, and don't be a hoe.